any nut butter. You could probably use cashew butter would be good if you have the means to make nut butters at home.
Walnut butter.
You can make them with the Vitamix, which we sell on our store, or some juicers will have an attachment for making nut butters and stuff, but we just get the stuff from the store. Okay, so I just put one of these whole guys in there. And this is basically the base. This is where you would normally use, you know, margarine and wheat or
Marshmallow cream.
Yeah.
For a regular fudge.
The nut butter will be a base, and almonds are another food that has interesting properties. Lots of good oils, good anabolic bodybuilding food for. That's the other thing about raw, is that it's a very cleansing diet, and you know you will, like I said, shed pounds, and it's good to get some fortifying things like nuts. Thank you.
I think we should.
Okay, and then once again we do a half cup of the cacao on this one, and a half cup of maple syrup. A lot of chocolate recipes are just cacao, a base, vanilla, salt, and sweet. So that's kind of the gist of most of these recipes.
So,
It is.
Oh yeah, we add the goji berries. Goji is the preeminent herb in Chinese traditional medicine. It's a complete food in and of itself. It has proteins and all your whole meal of minerals and nutrients, and then also interesting polysaccharides, and it's related to the tomato or the tomatillo. And there is one that grows. There's a native one that grows here, and that's actually where anthropologists have found a lot of sites by indication of the wolfberry being there, because people used it so widely as a staple food and as a survival food that you could tell where the settlements are, because there's wolfberry growing all around. So we put in here the almond butter, the cacao, the goji berries, the half cup of maple syrup, and then we put in a tablespoon of salt, or a teaspoon of salt, but you could vary that. Some people like their chocolate real salty. Some people don't like salt in their chocolate at all.
sometimes we use Celtic sea salt, which is a lot coarser. So it's good to sprinkle it on top, but if you use a finer salt like this real salt, which we recommend as well, we use a teaspoon and just mix it in. You need a little bit. I didn't quite put a whole teaspoon in, because since it's finer, it gives it a saltier flavor.
And it is important if you're, coming at this from a health perspective, to utilize good salts. A lot of the iodized salts and salts that are not natural are processed with chemicals and are a little less than benign. If you can find something that has its crystallized form still, then that's usually a good sign of purity. And you just kind of got to mix it all up until it's thoroughly blended. Takes a while sometimes, but we found it's good not to over mix, because it can be it can get kind of runny and oily, get an oily layer on top and not be so nice. Now this looks like it needs a little more cacao. Someone brought over some cacao nibs over here that you could put that in. It'd be like a little chocolate chip kind of thing. We could do that.
And this recipe is called freezer fudge. So normally you would make the recipe and freeze it for a couple hours, but we're just gonna make it and you're gonna eat it.
So kind of get it into a amorphous blob like that. And And so I like to just take this and put it on a piece of wax paper. Usually I scrape every little bit out of the bowl I can, and my kids help me, obviously. We have 2 others, but they're a little bit younger, and I didn't think their attention span would last.
They'd probably be yelling right now.
So I just kind of squish it out in the middle in kind of a blob, and then I fold the ends over of the wax paper. People can't see here. I just fold it over like that, and then I kind of press it out. You could use a rolling pin or, you know, what have you.
We use a cutting board.
Yeah, just something to flatten it. I'm just going to use my hand tonight. Parchment paper or wax paper. All right, and if we could put that in the freezer, then we just freeze it like that, just enough for it to kind of gel up.